Maybe. Hey, this is Meredith Elliott Powell. You know what time it is. It is 8 a.m. Eastern Saturday morning, one of my favorite times of the week. It is time for Sales Logic. Time to dive in and discuss what we need to do to be even more effective at sales. Hanging out here with my partner, Mark Hunter. How's it going, Mark?
It's going good. We got a great topic today. We're going to be talking about what are those sales habits that will change your life.
Sales habits that will change your life.
Prospect with integrity, we will get customers who have integrity. Integrity is the foundation from which everything is built on.
You better understand value. But at the end of the day, sales is a relationship business. It is a people business. It is an emotional business.
This is Sales Logic.
This is Sales Logic. Now, before we dive into the topic, I always like to invite our listeners, and we have great listeners, to send your questions in, because this show is about one person, and it is about you, and we'll feature you right here on Sales Logic. So send your questions to saleslogicpodcast.com. All right, Mark, let's dive in.
Okay, so hey, that topic, but I want to tee up right now the lightning round, because lightning round, this is going to spook some people. Top 10 ways to follow up without being annoying. Ooh,
one of my favorite topics.
I know. I love this. Okay. Sales habits that will change your life. As I say this to the person who is the most habitual, controlled person in the world, Meridith Elliott Powell.
Little bit of a sales or a habit freak, right? I mean, it's the thing about habits. I was thinking about this episode, and I was thinking to myself, here's the thing about habits. When you get into a routine of habits, there's comfort in it. And I think that's an important thing to say when it comes to sales, because sales isn't comfortable, because so much of it is outside of our control. So I think a sales habit that will change your life is to commit to making some level of sales calls every single day. To make sales calls whether you need business or you do not need business, but you treat it like brushing your teeth or going to the gym or reading to your children before you go to bed at night. Whatever your good habits are in your life, add a sales habit to it, and the habit should be making sales calls.
I think that is so spot on, because it is. We crave order. Human beings, We crave order. We crave some sort of stability. And what that means is, if we're going to be successful in sales, it is the habit. I love what you said. It's making sales calls every day, because that's the thing that tends to slide off the calendar. Well, I got to take care of this. You have to be in the mode of dealing with people every day. But I think there are some sales habits that go beyond just connecting with people. It's how do you structure your time? How do you structure your day to make sure that you control the day versus the day controlling you?
Yeah, I love this, John. You are absolutely right. We're talking about embracing consistency. I think consistency is one of the sexiest words in sales. So Mark said, thinking about structuring your day. And one sales habit that I want to talk about that I think is important at the beginning of the day is, I think you need to work on your mindset every single day. Even if you get up in a good mood, even if you get up positive, like we're filming this on February 15th, and yesterday was Valentine's Day. And one of the beautiful things I love about Friday, Valentine's Day, Monday, President's Day, is emails stopped. And so I really got caught up yesterday afternoon. And so I woke up in a pretty good mood today, because I woke up not stressed out. And but still, I still did some things to work on my mindset.
I tell you what, mindset drives everything. And I think this is why habits are so critical, because when you are consistent with things, it does help your mindset, because it allows your mind to be focused. And this is so key. And you talked about, the morning. You and I are both big champions of how you start your day. Yeah. And you have to be absolutely consistent. Quick story. I was judging a college sales competition yesterday, and I was the buyer for very good six sales professionals out of the University of Texas, Dallas. And one of them made the comment, some random says, "Oh, I get up very early in the morning." And I asked her, I said, "Oh, what time do you get up?" She said, "I get up at 7:30.
Oh.
And I said, "Oh, well, that's 3 hours after I do. I get up at 4:30." And her jaw just dropped. But this whole thing, for her, 7:30 was consistency. And this is what it is.
Right.
Whatever it is that you do, I think it's be consistent. And that's one of the best habits anyone can develop.
Yeah. 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 So when it comes to this whole idea of, whether you get up at 4:30, whether you get up at 7:30, Mark said that really well. It's whatever you do, just be consistent about it. And I think a good sales habit is to do it on the weekends too. Like, don't make the weekends a time where you sleep until 11 o'clock. Don't make a weekends a time where you don't make any sales calls. Just work this into basically the flow of your life.
Yeah. Now, I'm not saying to get up at 4:30 on Saturdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
I do sleep in a little bit longer on Saturdays and Sundays. But you're right. It is that consistency, because once you start breaking a habit, it is amazing at how you can slide away. And this is one of the things about sales habits. It is so easy when we need business. Oh, we're prospecting. Then you get business and you take your foot off the gas. And as a result, then you don't prospect. And you're taking care of existing customers and so forth. And then suddenly, oh no, I need more business. This is one of the biggest problems salespeople have, because they literally move from mountaintop to valley because of their own behavior. And if you have good sales habits, the valleys are never as low as you think they are, and the mountaintops are never as high as you think they are. And I hate to pop that bubble, because you're absolutely consistent. Bill King, great Sales Logic Mastermind member, says time blocking helps you prevent the urgent getting in the way of the important. Time blocking, it's setting aside dedicated blocks of time to do specific activities. And that is absolutely key.
Yeah, I'm going to build on that sales habit, because Bill, I don't know if you do this, but I do. One of my favorite sales habits, I don't know that it's my favorite, let me say, because it's painful, but I make sure I do the things I don't want to do first. Like this morning, I woke up and I've got to write a proposal, and it's an unbelievable opportunity, but I don't really understand how to write the proposal for the best ROI. And so I procrastinate, because I have a bunch of stuff on my to-do list, and I could get these other things done really, really fast. And there's nothing more exciting than scratching things off your to-do list. But what I decided to do was, so I'm sitting here with a to-do list where nothing has been scratched off, because I've been working on this proposal really since I got up this morning. So I'm biting the thing that is hard first. Now, why do you want to do that? Because you only have so much energy for a day. And if I waited until I got these other things done, I'm tired. And if I'm tired, the likelihood that I will blow that off.
That's so key, because what you mentioned is what we all love to do. We just want to scratch things off that list.
Yeah.
We just want to scratch it. So come on, we've all done this. We've all put things that we've already done down.
Oh, yeah.
Just so we can scratch them off. Okay, come on.
Actually, Mark, I want to add to that. I've got a girlfriend that she puts the things she tells her husband to do on her to-do list. So when he does them, she can scratch them off her to-do list.
Whoa, man.
Yeah.
That is so. Hey, Larry Levine, great friend of ours.
And
he says,
sales guru.
Oh, and so masterful. He says, if you're not disciplined with your personal habits, you'll struggle to become disciplined with your professional habits. This is so true. It's very interesting
advice.
when I'm looking at people, when I'm interviewing people, when I'm talking to C-suite leaders, and this week I had several conversations with several. It's amazing how their personal life reflects their professional life, and their professional life reflects their personal life. You bet they go hand in hand. Larry, you bring up a great point there. Thank you. Hey, there's something powerful about this whole habit of discipline. And I find this because I get to coach a couple of ultra uber top performers. These are salespeople making well into 7 figures. Both of them share with me this comment. They said, our life is, it says, my life is really quite boring, because I'm literally driven by a repetitive activity every day. But it's that repetitive activity that allows them to be successful. Think about that for a moment. These are top performers, 7-figure income, and it's repetitive. They know exactly what they're doing every day, every hour, period.
Yeah. I love John's habit here. So take the time to analyze your success and failures. John's such a good piece of advice because I think this is really undervalued, and it's a habit that that really doesn't get utilized very much. But I always say the best sales coach on the planet is you. It's you taking the time to review what you did that week and where you were successful and where you were not successful, and then completely adjust your strategy on a regular basis. Thomas, I'm eating that frog as much as I can. That's basically what I'm doing.
Thank you, Brian Tracy, for that line, because that's so true. Eat the frog first thing in the morning.
Yeah, Natalie got it, Brian Tracy.
Right. Yeah, there you go. Thank you. Yeah. Hey, Brad jumps in. I teach my team to change their mindset to how many people can I help today? This is so key. Our business is about helping people. Be obsessed with serving with value, and prospecting is easy because everyone and every business needs help. If you focus on the people who you have the ability to influence and impact, it's amazing. This really sets up well for the question that came today from Mateo in Cartagena. I just changed jobs, same industry, big equipment sales. Most of my team is struggling. Economy's tough right now, but 3 or 4 guys in our company are blowing it out of the water. I'm curious, what do you think they're doing that we are not doing? What makes a top producer? So I threw that in the brain, and a couple of things that the brain came back with is being disciplined with your time, just what we've been talking about. Another thing that the brain came back with is knowing who your best customers and prospects are and actively using your CRM. Again, it's being disciplined with where you spend your time to keep going off on the shiny object, chasing the squirrel, all those things that salespeople can do so easily.
Mateo, I love this question. And I got to tell you, Cartagena is one of the most beautiful cities that I've ever had the privilege of being in. But first of all, as much as I love that you are asking this question to both Mark and to me, the person that you should be asking is the top producer. Every time I do a sales kickoff meeting, I always try to figure out who the top producer is, the 1 or 2 that are blowing it out of the water. And then I always tell the rest of the audience, the people that you should be interviewing is that top producer. If you want to know what makes the difference, talk to the top producer. But here's a couple of things I think is Mark already said that they've got really good habits. They're really, really consistent. I'm going to go back to John's advice, and I'm going to say that they change their strategy quite a bit. I've got a business development person on my team, and she is a freaking rock star. And one of the things I love about her is that she when it is not working, she adjusts the strategy. Her ego isn't tied up in what she's doing. She just says, wow, I'm going to try something different. We're going to mix it up a little bit. I'm going to throw a little more mud at the wall and see what's working and stay with those habits. So I think that's another thing. I would also say that they have the habit of persistence. They do work a very strong follow-up system, understanding that this is a nurturing. They do not control the buying cycle. They're working that through. And then the last thing I'm going to tell you they're doing is they are not wasting time on clients that are not going to buy. Mark said this beautifully. They are very clear on their ideal customer profile. And that very first call, they're interviewing the prospect to see, do I want to put my time and energy here? And it's not like I think as salespeople, we get in the habit of thinking, oh my God, I want the business. Oh my God, I want the business. The first couple of calls should be to see if this is good business for you, if you even want to do this.
It's investing in the person. It's investing in the person and not investing in your product. I want to go back to what you said about your business development person, always changing, always saying. She's not throwing the baby out with the bathwater. She's not completely redoing everything. It's minor tweaks. It's minor changes. This is what is so key. And this is where I think a lot of salespeople fall down because, my process isn't working. So they go off and they radically change everything. You know what? I tell you what, even a bad sales process, this is going to sound weird, can really deliver results if you're just persistent enough. If you just stay disciplined enough. And then it's a matter of just doing a slight wiggle and a slight shake. And so many times what happens is people are missing the obvious because they're standing so close to the tree, they can't see the forest. I was talking to a salesperson the other day who was struggling. It just wasn't happening. And I asked them the simple question, how much time do you spend in your CRM? And I got crickets. Really, okay, there you go. I mean, hey, maybe that's the obvious change. It's just you have to be disciplined with what assets you have and use them. And when you're disciplined and consistent and stay focused on the customer, in other words, how do I influence and impact these people in a positive ways? It is amazing at what can happen. I love Todd's comments. It all starts with discipline. It's going to pull you through the highs and the lows. It sure does. Yeah.
Yeah. We've got some great advice from sales guru, our social selling leader, Bryn Tillman. We always love it when Bryn chimes in. She says, theme your days, create outreach prospecting campaigns, and block times each day with a different task to move the campaign forward. This helps those who burn out from doing the same activity every day. This way, if there is an activity you don't love, it's a one-time-a-week task and it's easier to get through. Such great advice. Bryn, I'm going to add to that. Welcome to being in business. Welcome to being in sales. You got to do stuff you don't want to do. And one of my favorite habits is I manage my energy. I do not manage my time. I don't manage my time at all. So what that means is that I understand what things take energy out of me and what things put energy back into me. And that's the way I structure my day. It's the reason that I work a little bit and go play tennis. I work a little bit more and I go play a round of golf. I work a little bit more and I'll, have dinner with my husband, hang out with my dog, do whatever. But I understand this balance of what puts energy into me and what takes energy out.
That's so good because it's understanding the rhythms of your own body. And that's why this lady I was telling you about earlier, I get up early. I get up at 7:30. Okay, that fits her rhythm.
Right.
That is absolutely key. It is not about morphing yourself into the absolute habits that Meridith has or I have. No, it's morphing them into your habits, but remaining absolutely consistent and absolutely. I love Thomas's comments. Ask your existing customers, do you know anyone else that I can help? Human beings are naturally programmed to want to help. This is, what's interesting, Thomas, what you just mentioned there is so key because it's what so few salespeople do. Referrals are probably the easiest way for us to grow our business. And yet from a discipline standpoint, we don't do it.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Man.
Yeah, I love that habit of asking for referrals because it is so key and so important, and it's a habit, right? It's something that we forget about. I mean, I'm really glad you put that up there, Thomas, because I got 2 really nice pieces of feedback from people who heard me speak this week. Did I ask them for a referral? Heck no. And so now I'm going to go back and I'm going to ask them for a referral because that is a habit that I dropped.
See, and this is one of the things I think I'm going to suggest to everybody. Take the actions that you want to be doing, that you need to be doing. Write them down on a piece of paper and keep them there by your desk or by your computer, on your computer, whatever. And say, okay, how do I program these into my daily routine, into my daily flow? So if you say referrals, okay, so what you got to do is you got to sit there and say, okay, what is it that I can do every day to make sure that I'm getting referrals? You need to take those actions and bake them in and do it consistently.
Yeah, very, very important. Bill King, the best system is the one you follow, consistency. And Todd says, I like who do you know versus do you know anyone? Great little twist. Mark, we are burning time. We probably need to jump into the book.
Wow, we sure do. Hey, book is from Tim Grover, Relentless. Of course, we're going to have a book like that for today, right? Because again, it's about being consistent, relentless. Tim Grover, what are your thoughts on the book?
Okay, I just finished the book and I love it. It's really based on what separates those who achieve the highest levels. It's a lot about athletes, but it's really, really interesting. He goes through 3 divisions of whether you are I think it's a cooler, a closer, or a cleaner. And the cleaner is the one who is relentless. It's just some really good mindset stuff and some great places to really challenge yourself.
Which brings up an interesting point. You do have to make sure who you associate with, because what is that book all about? It really gives you aspirational thinking regarding, hey, here's how you do this, here's how you do it. And again, this is why hanging out with really brilliant people is so good. It's why you being everybody joining in on Sales Logic podcast is so key, because you get to participate in a community. Okay, lightning round. You ready?
I am.
Top 10 ways to follow up without being annoying. Go.
Number one is you've got to use the 70% value add and 30% asking for the business.
2, never sit there and say, are you ready to buy? Are you ready to buy? Just checking in. Just checking in.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Never ever use the line of just checking in. Number 3, take the hint. If the deal goes cold, it is not the time to push harder. Something happened that probably has nothing to do with you, that is telling you that you need to adjust your follow-up strategy.
Number 4, don't do the trick that everybody was doing about 5 or 10 years ago, and some people still are. Hey, you just book a meeting on somebody's calendar. No, you don't do that.
Yeah. Number 5, if you want to follow up without being annoying, set another meeting before you leave every single call.
I love that. Bam, fam. Book a meeting from a meeting. Number 6, don't sit there and send the same email over and over. I'm not sure if you saw this. Not sure if you saw this. Sending it to you again.
Oh, that puts another one to me. Number 7, don't joke. Don't say, don't get really, really cute in the follow-up email, or don't threaten them that they're going to miss out, that you're just going to, give up and then continue to follow up after that.
I'm going to pick up on that. It's the Dear John letter, the Dear Mary letter. It's, oh, if you don't respond today, I'm never going to speak to you again. Oh, come on. That is so joke. That is so stupid.
Number 9, if you want to follow up without being annoying, you need to have a follow-up plan. You have a prospecting plan, you have a sales plan, and a part of that sales plan needs to be a very structured follow-up plan.
Number 10, I'm going to say it because Larry Levine is listening to the show this morning. Do not have commission breath. It is all about serving the customer. It's not about you trying to close a sale. So we got a lot of great comments coming up.
Just a great audience this morning.
Yeah. Hey, here's the thing. We've got an event coming up in just a couple of weeks where we've got Tiffany Bova, who is going to be joining us. This is the Sales Logic Expert Exchange. You got to check those out. They're absolutely powerful. And do check out the Sales Logic Mastermind and join the group, because the intimate conversations, the meaningful conversations, absolutely powerful. So anyway, hey, with that, we want to say thank you for listening to Sales Logic. If you like what you hear, subscribe, rate, and review the show on your favorite podcast app. If something we've said has earned you a single dollar, consider telling a friend about our show, because it's how we grow when we help you grow. I'm Mark Hunter.
And I'm Meridith Elliott Powell.
Remember, when you sell with confidence and integrity,
all of this uncertainty suddenly becomes your competitive advantage.
And the sale becomes logical.
All right. Couple of things. Number 1, send your questions here to Sales Logic. We love to feature you. Number 2, mark your calendar right now. Join us for another episode next week, 8 a.m. Eastern. Next week's episode is going to rock. Mark your calendar for February the 25th, 4 Eastern. You do not want to miss Tiffany Bova. She is a rock star. And last but not least, what are you doing? Join the Sales Logic Mastermind. If you want to make 2025 your best year on record, we got your back. All right, we'll see you right back here next week with another episode of Sales Logic.